פרק עשירי. Let's do פרק עשירי. ביאור משנה ד', ביאור משנה א', לאחר שנשנו בפרקים הקודמים שיעורי ההוצאה, after we finished and we already know all the minimum requirements for a person to be obligated taking out an object, בא משנתנו ללמד, our Mishnah came to teach us, שכל השיעורים הללו נקבעו לגבי כל אדם סתם. All these measurements are talking about any specific person. In other words, a normal person. We're talking about normal people, a regular guy. אבל המצניע דבר לאיזה תכלית שהוא. But if you're crazy guy and you like a specific thing, you collect them. I don't know, nobody else collects them. In other words, it's not important for anybody else. But you collect them for whatever reason. אפילו בכל שהוא חייב. You don't need the required measurement. Because you're the crazy guys, with any measurements you're going to be obligated. Let's take an example. Okay? We walk out in the field. If there's a flower that is used for medicine, that everybody uses for medicine, and you carry this flower on Shabbat, you're obligated, because we said the measurement for medicine is anything. If it's a flower you eat, only eat, not use for measurement, how much you need to take care of the flower? Gugoret. But let's say this guy is a botanist. You know what a botanist is? The guy he likes to collect flowers. And he walks in the field, and he's carrying a flower because he wants to bring it back to his collection. Nobody eats it, and nobody uses it for medicine. So you would say he's not obligated, right? Just a small little town. He is obligated. Why? Because for him it's important. That's what it's saying. So until now we're talking about normal people. This guy is a strange creature. He's a botanist. So we're going to make him obligated. Let's go. Hamatzniya lazera. One who puts it aside because he wants to seed it. הטומן קודם השבת ממני הזרעים לשם זריעה. He puts before Shabbat all kinds of seeds because he wants to seed them. ולדוגמה, and for example, או שטומן דבר להראותו לדוגמה. Or he puts it there to remember, oh, I want the shape of the seed to be this kind. Like the botanist that we talked about. He wants to know what type of seed exactly it is. ולרפואה, or to medicine, we already mentioned that. או שמצניע דבר לרפואה, or he puts it aside for medicinal person, והוציאו בשבת, and then he takes it out on Shabbat, אפילו הוציאו סתם, even when he took it out, he didn't take it out for seeding it, or for eating it, or for nothing, yeah? כגון ששכח לשם מה הצניעו, he forgot, he put it in his pocket, let's say, he put it on his pocket, he's a botanist. Right? This is the difference. He's a botanist. He walks around in the field. He sees a flower. Says, oh, I don't have this flower. So he picks it up. He puts it in his pocket. And then on Shabbat, he walks out with it. And then he finds it in his pocket in Shabbat. Does he have to bring a sacrifice?
Yeah.
Oh, if he's not a botanist?
No.
That's exactly what it says. Chayav bechol shu. He's obligated in anything. Even though on Shabbat he wasn't planning to do anything with it. Because he's a botanist, he puts it in his pocket because of its importance. Now he's obligated. If I just put it in my pocket, I'm not obligated because it's not important for me. For him it is. אפילו אין בו כשיעור שקבעו חכמים, even though there's not a measurement that the sages established. שהואיל והצניעות תחילה, since he put it there in his pocket from the beginning, אנו אומרים שעל דעתו הראשונה הוציאו, והרי החשיבו. He gave it importance because he's a botanist and he collects it. And we don't care that on Shabbat he wasn't thinking about it. He just took it out because he forgot it was in his pocket. We're not going to say, oh, right now he's going to be not a botanist. He's still a botanist. Even though for right now he's not interested in it right now. וכל אדם אין חייב עליו אלא כשיעורו. But a normal person is only obligated according to the measurement. אבל כל אדם אחר שיוצא בשבת, any other person that took this flower out on Shabbat, אינו חייב עליו, is not obligated on it, אלא אם כן יש בו כשיעור ההוצאה שקבעו חכמים, only if it has the measurement that the sages established. Either if it is a food, כגוגורת for example, כמו ששנינו בפרקים הקודמים, like we mentioned in the previous chapter. חזר והכניסו. What happens if he goes back now and puts it back into his house? אם זה שהצניע פחות מכשיור. This is an interesting part. Let's take a botanist is not a good example. So let's take another example. The guy took out the seed and put it in his pocket because he wanted to seed it in the ground. He says, I like this kind, I'm going to make 2 from it, and then I'm going to make a whole bunch. First seed is going to give you a 10 seed, and then I'm going to give you 100 seed, and then I'm going to give, but I want this particular seed because it's important to me. So he takes only one out, and then he goes out and he puts it in his pocket. And then on Shabbat he forgets. He goes outside and he forgets it. But he doesn't seed it. He goes back with it, back into his home. Right? Since he didn't seed it, when he's going back into his home, now it loses its importance now. It loses its importance. Because if it was important to him, he would have seeded it. Now that he didn't seed it, we're not talking about the botanist. We're talking about the guy who wants to seed it. Now because he didn't seed it, it shows that it's not important to him anymore. So therefore, when he takes it back home, it's not important. He's not obligated. אם זה שהצניעו פחות מכשיעור והוציאו בשבת, he took it out in Shabbat, וחזר מדעתו ונמלח שלא להשתמש בו לזרע, and then he changed his mind. He says, I'm not going to seed it, או לדוגמה או לרפואה. I'm not going to use it for anything, any of the use. והכניסו לביתו בשבת, and now he goes back with it into his house בשבת, אינו חייב על ההכנסה הזאת. He's not obligated when he's entering it into his house with the seed from the public domain. וכן אם הוא חוזר ומוציאו, אינו חייב על הוצאתו. And then, now, if he goes out again with it, he's not going to be obligated. It's very strange. Right? Because he had the opportunity to do it, and he didn't do it, it shows that he's really not interested. In other words, he's not a botanist for this anymore. He showed that he's not really a botanist now. He's not really interested in it now. אלא אם כן יש בשיקור הזה, only going to be responsible if it has the right measurement. שקבעו בו חכמים, that the sages have established, שהואיל ונמלח, because once he changed his mind, he showed that I'm not a botanist, that I don't want the seed. בטלה מחשבתו הראשונה. His first thought was moved away, ודינו ככל אדם, and he became like any other normal person. בגמרא מבואר, in the Gemara it explains, שאפילו לא ביטל את מחשבתו הראשונה, בפירוש. Even if he did not do an act that shows us that he doesn't think about it, אלא כגון שזרק את הזרע לאוצר. As long as you see him, he takes the seed and he puts it together with the other seeds, that already show me that he's not interested in it. Because otherwise, if he wanted that specific one, he would not throw it because he cannot find it afterwards. So if he does something to show me that he's not interested, that means this seed is not a botanist for him anymore. אף על פי שלא נתערב בו, יפה ומקום, even though you can still pick it up. He didn't throw it good and it was a little bit on the side, but the fact that he threw it inside shows that what? That he's not interested in it anymore. מכל מקום והואיל וזרקו לאוצר, once he threw it all together with the other seeds, he shows that he's not interested because of a botanist. אנו אומרים שביטל את מחשבתו הראשונה. We said that for this seed he's not a botanist anymore, he's using it for other purposes.